Hey guys, I'm HOJ, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a best of one standard event with my Naya Airbend deck. I have worked on a couple other Airbend decks, just trying to focus around how to break Airbender Ascension. Tried both a Bant and an Abzan list that did end up going 7-2 in a best of one event for each of those, so really happy with the results so far. My first attempt was a mono white Airbend deck. There's a video for that. Should be a link if you want to check that out. Did not trophy with that deck, but I'm hoping that we can turn Naya into a good experience here. Hopefully we can get a win. So let's jump into the deck. There's going to be also a link in the description for all the win rate statistics, the deck list on Moxfield, and then also the full playlist if you want to see more videos. In addition, the top pinned comment is going to have a link to subscribe if you like this kind of content and you want to see more, and also a link to become a member for 99 cents a month to get early access to all my new videos if you want to help support the channel. All right, so basically just trying to find the best way to break Airbender Ascension. And then with the Naya shell, I wanted to find creatures that would be able to bounce in and out and give us some kind of value. So at our 1-drop slot, we have just Llanowar Elves to help speed everything out. At the 2-drop slot, we have the full playset of Airbender Ascension, which when it enters, airbends up to 1 target creature. And then whenever a creature you control enters, you put a quest counter on the enchantment. And then at the beginning of your end step, if you have 4 or more quest counters, you can exile up to 1 target creature you control and then return it to the battlefield. So for our 2-drops, I have 1 copy of Charming Prince, and this is one I kind of toyed around a little bit with and sort of settled on 1 copy. It's a nice card that can help us sort of fix our next draw with Scry 2 when it comes in, or we can gain some life to help against like mono red, and it also has the ability to exile another target creature you own and return it to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. So sort of like a mini Airbend. And it works really well with a lot of the other creatures. I only wanted a single copy because it doesn't really do anything itself, or at least not too much, and there's better targets. 1 copy of Collector's Cage. This is a nice way to take advantage of Hideaway, so when this comes in, we can look at the top 5 cards of our library, put 1 face down exiled, and then this artifact you can tap for 1 to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. And then if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, you can play the exiled card that you used Hideaway for. So it's a nice way to get a little bit of advantage, and we're going to have a lot of different creatures with different powers in this deck. 1 copy of Exorcise, kind of as a catch-all to help deal with artifacts, enchantments, and big creatures. I like to have just a couple answers to particular problems, like for instance, Jeskai artifacts. This is a nice way to deal with like Pinnacle Star Cage or some of like the bigger artifact and enchantment threats. And then we also have 1 copy of Reclamation Sage. So this is a creature that you can bounce in and out to destroy target artifact or enchantment. So I wanted to give myself a couple options in the deck to be able to deal with artifacts and enchantments. And then 3 copies of Surris Spidersilk Innovator. This is a 0/1, and when it enters, you create a 2/1 green spider creature token with reach, and then you can also pay for and transform this if you have the mana. We do have some mana that can double as sort of mana of any color, and so we can actually have access to this mana, even though this is a Naya deck. And when you transform it, it's a 4/4 Vigilance Reach, and then each legendary spell that you cast that's 1 or more colors has a web of Bant colors, basically, which is another way to sort of bounce creatures in and out. 4 copies of Badgermole Cub. It's really nice just to give ourselves the acceleration between that and Llanowar Elves to help kind of speed the deck forward, and it can be used also to bounce in and out to Earthbend 1. 3 copies of Lightning Helix. This is just mainly to be able to deal with like Ouroboros and like must-kill threats, either like that or Badgermole Cub. Slickshot Show Off, things like that. At our 3-drop slot, we've got 2 copies of Kutzil's Flanker. This is kind of our catch-all to deal with graveyard, like reanimation decks, things like that. You can also use it to bounce in and out for extra life and scrying and fixing our draws. And then for the creatures that are sort of like the mainstay, we have a full play set of Toby, Beastie, Befriender. This is a 1/1 for 3 as a legendary human wizard, and when it enters, it creates a 4/4 white beast creature token. With this token, can't attack or block alone. And then if you have 4 more creature tokens you control have flying. And so when you're bouncing this in and out, you're making 4/4s, which is really nice rate. We also have 4 copies of Sandstorm Salvager, which comes in and makes a 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature token. And then you can tap 2 mana and tap this to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature token you control. They gain trample until end of turn. So this is pretty powerful to help sort of force through some damage. At 4 mana, we have the Earth King, which is a sort of a newer card out of Avatar. A 2/2 that comes in and creates a 4/4 green bear creature token. And then whenever 1 or more creatures you control attack with power 4 or greater, you search your library for up to that many basic land cards and put them into the battlefield tapped and then shuffle. So really nice. You can bounce this in and out, create some more 4/4s. And then we have at the very top of the curve 2 copies of Palani's Hatcher, which is a 5/3 dinosaur that gives other dinosaurs you control haste. And then when it enters, you create 2 0/1 green dinosaur egg creature tokens. And at the beginning of combat, if you control 1 or more eggs, you sacrifice an egg and create a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token. And so when you're bouncing this in and out, you're making multiple tokens, and you're getting a lot of stats just for 5 mana. For the mana base, I wanted to make sure we had access to 15 sources of green on turn 1 so that we can fairly reliably cast our Llanowar Elves and then just have good mana as much as possible and just minimize tapped lands. So this list here actually has no lands that come into play tapped by default. You do have some like Starting Town and Inspiring Vantage, which if you play as like your 4th land or on your 4th turn would come into play tapped, but it just gives us sort of the best mana possible without having like man lands and things like that and getting into the weeds. So that's the deck. And yeah, it looks like 22 land in total. It's been working pretty well with the other shells. Let's go ahead and jump in. All right, here we are for round 1. So yeah, I really like this deck. I've had a chance to do both Abzan and Bant, and I like them as well. Just a couple of changes here for the Naya lists. I'm hoping Naya will do well as well. But if you guys are interested and you want to see the other lists, let me know. Put it in the comments. All right, opening hand looks good. We've got turn 1 Elves into Airbender Ascension. Some stuff to go. So let's give it a go. A little bit of pain on the lands here, but I think that should be okay. All right, another green deck. What do we want to do? Do we want to try to set up our next draw with Flanker? Just kind of get Airbender Ascension going. I think I just want to get Airbender Ascension going here. We have a couple other land that come into play. We want to have good access to our mana, so I think I'm just going to go for Starting Town here. And then here we can go ahead and bounce their elf. And next turn we can start making tokens. Nessian Hornbeetle. Okay. Ooh, and we got a Badgermole Cub. Nice. Alright, so let's... I think I'm going to put the token on one of the starting towns to make it a little bit easier to use. actually. Let's see, I want to do this a different way. And then now we can go ahead, we can, I think I'm probably just going to play it as the small version. I could play it as the backside, but I think we just want to do it as the, this version will give us 2 tokens, or 2 creatures hitting play. And getting us closer to our Airbender Ascension. Yeah, I was a little bit, kind of fumbled the land a little bit, but hopefully it should be all right. I think we could have avoided like 1 point of damage there. Nice, and another Badgermole Cub is always fun. Now we have access to just a ton of mana here. So we can go ahead, we can flanker, we can also flip this to the other side, or we can bounce it and keep making tokens. We can also bounce the Badgermole Cub and start making more, do more Earthbends. I think I'm going to do one of the flankers here and just try to set up my draws. Ooh, an Earth King is a lot of fun, so I think let's go ahead and get one of those. And with the extra mana, we can just flanker again. And do we want Helix? I guess he could have Ouroboros. I don't think I'm that worried about it. So I think maybe we just want the Earth King here. And, you know, I'm actually happy to trade here with Badgermole too. Got enough going on. Should be okay. I think let's just, yeah, we could make some more tokens, but I think let's make, do another round here with the flanker. Alana and Elena is pretty good, for sure. So we can also flip this, give this Vigilance and Reach, make it a 4/4, and then also make it so that other legendaries will have in web. Have enough mana to do all that. And we'll start making some 4/4s. And then now we could attack with a couple copies of Flanker, even if we lose one, if it blocks with the first strike. I think we just want to start pushing damage here. We could also just do like a full send, and even if they kill both of the Badgermoles, I think we're still just getting a lot of creatures in, pushing a lot of damage. So I think I'm okay with that. All right, let's make some more 4/4s. Yep, and that's going to do it. Just kind of overwhelm them with tokens. But yeah, it's a lot of fun just kind of bouncing this stuff in and out. You've got a lot of good targets for it. All right, opening hand looks good. We have we don't have any red mana yet, but we have a lot of ways to get it. Hopefully we can draw into a third land. I think I'm going to try it. It's not as explosive as the last one, but it's I've got the makings of a good hand. Okay, we do need to draw a little bit more land, though. Okay, I guess we're still just setting up. Yeah, if we can pick up even one land, though, we can go with Flanker and then start setting up our future draws. So hopefully we don't just stumble on 2 land here. Okay, there's another land. However, because it's a later turn, it doesn't come in into play untapped, so we're still just kind of sitting around. But at least we're up to 3 land now. We're up against some kind of Bant deck here. I've already tossed a Day of Judgment, so who knows what we're up against exactly. And I think now we're just going to try to set up for like end of turn Kutzil's Flanker. Wineskin, let's respond to that with Flanker, just so they don't have mana for like No More Lies. Rumble Arena should be good. And then Collector's Cage, we can find something to hide away. I think with Palani's Hatcher, if we can get it resolved, it could be good. We could also just try to find something else. I think we keep it. I think there's a decent chance we can resolve it. It is possible we're supposed to take another turn here and just like get rid of this water skin. Or we could do that with like Exorcise. Because I'm a little leery of running the Palani's Hatcher into a No More Lies situation. Yeah, maybe we don't keep this on top. I think this could be really good though. But it does involve us resolving the Hatcher, so maybe we want to just actually find like a backup creature just in case. I think we do want to cut off their mana a little bit. guess if we can get him to tap out in some way, we can go for the Hatcher. But they were telegraphing like a pretty clear no more lies last turn, so not sure if we go for it. Maybe we can get him to bite with this Lightning Helix. There it is. Okay. No more lies down. Feeling good. Okay, now we can bounce the Hatcher and the Flanker. And set up some draws. Ooh, Earth King and Toby. That looks pretty good. Let's maybe go... Maybe Toby first, so we can go for like the Helix. Although if we have Earth King in play next turn and Hatcher's still around, then we could also like get some more land. So maybe go for Earth King. But they both look pretty good. Board wipe or no is the real question. Sure. Do we have another board wipe? Okay. I can see getting rid of the Airbender Ascension, yeah. Gonna need to find a board wipe though. All right, let's get in, see what he does. Oh yeah, we only have 2 basics in the whole deck, so no more land to find. And we've still got him covered with the double helix here, so that should do it. All right, on to the next. Yeah, the just like the bouncing in and out over and over, just, oh man, it's so great. All right, opening hand looks good. We've got Llanowar Elves for acceleration into like a turn 2 Toby. Reclamation Sage could be pretty good here. Again, just because I think we have like 6 cards that come in that are like 2 or fewer lands or something like that. I think I'm just going to go with the starting town here. Let's get Toby going. Could also hold flanker if we wanted to set up our draws. I think Toby's good enough though. All right, there's our first target for Reclamation Sage. And we got Badgermole Cub to go with it. Do we need 4 mana? I don't think so. Because we're just going to Reclamation Sage after this. And then I think I'm happy to trade Toby here. We can just play new Toby with the Savior if he wants to make that trade. All right, so now we've got enough for Helix plus paying the tax. If he has the last card as like the Shard Mage's Rescue, hopefully he doesn't. That would be kind of a blowout. We can potentially like find answers here with Flanker as the other option, but it could get worse if he finds like more enchantments. So I think we maybe should just like take this chance to try to go for it. And he's got the rescue. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. It's a little dangerous. I mean, I think we do want to have access, though, to Flanker here to try to set up our draws. We are going to take a little bit of a hit on life, but we can also gain some life back. We could also play another Toby here. I think we just want to set up our draws as best we can. And I don't want to really trade Reclamation Sage. We kind of need the mana from everything else here. Oops. So let's just do no attacks. Yeah, that Shard Mage's Rescue is pretty rough. And unfortunately, that's going to do it because we can only go up to 9 total here, and we'll pain once just to get there. So, yeah, unfortunately, they got the quick draw on us. Needed to be able to bounce in and out the Reclamation Sage there. Two and one. All right, opening hand looks good. We've got Badgermole on 2, Salvager potentially on 3. Maybe Helix if we need it. See what our opponent is up to here. Yeah, unfortunately that last game, maybe we should have just tried to like, yeah, we kind of like needed to like have that moment for them to not have it, I think. Otherwise, I suppose we could have like bolted face to try to just like gain life and not get blown out. But then like they've still got it, and like with the armor, just gonna get worse. Opponent might be timing out here, not sure what's going on. What I like is we've got like so many different creatures in this deck that like make 2 creatures in 1 card to get like 2 counters on the Airbender Ascension right away. So it's just, you can stack it up really fast. All right. Looks like our opponent is timing out here. But yeah, the Abzan list that I ran, like it basically interposed like the helixes for Nowhere to Run, which are really good because they are great against that specific matchup that we just lost. And that one did end up going 7-2. That was pretty much the only black card in the deck. I think that like now instead of like one of the Kutzil's flankers, I probably like put in like the Skitter, you know, the rat thing that like makes rat tokens, and that's really nice for the Airbender Ascension to make all those extra creatures, and then you can also use it to like get cards out of the yard. But it was like very low in actual black cards. I think it's only like 5 black cards total. And then the Bant version that I ran ended up using 3 copies of 3 Steps Ahead just to have like, once you can kind of get ahead, just like hold up counters to like win the game. And then you can also use it to like make copies of creatures, which is really nasty. And then 2 copies of Aang at the Crossroads because it's just an awesome 5-drop. And so that also was like very light on blue cards, but also ended up going 7 and 2. So I was pretty happy with that. But like the core of the deck kind of, you know, works around with like Toby, the Earth King, and Sandstorm Salvager, and then Surris, and those are just like all just like fantastic with Airbender Ascension. All right, opening hand looks great. Let's go ahead and keep. I think we'll lead out here with Multiversal Passage. Actually, we've got a lot of green between these Llanowar Elves, so maybe I'll do Starting Town instead. And then I can use this for like white or potentially red. All right, this could be Golgari, could be like the Earthbender Ascension deck. I think let's get this for white. So now we can bounce his elves and play another elf ourselves. Start getting ahead. Oh, wow. And Palani's Hatcher. Gotta love it. Okay, I would say that's a pretty nice upgrade. Earth King is great, don't get me wrong, but Palani's Hatcher to flip the Ascension on turn 3 is pretty busted. Yeah, it just feels like we're really far ahead now. Let's make some more dinosaurs. Yeah, and they're just gonna... I don't blame them. They're just gonna pack it in. It's pretty silly. I think both Palani's Hatcher in red and Aang at the Crossroads in blue, they're just both nutty 5-drops. But I think what's nice about the deck is that it's very resilient, just getting like board wiped out, because like as you could see, like they board wiped in that past match, and you're just like, okay, well we've just got another creature, and we're just gonna keep making more nonsense, and then you got to deal with that. Then you got another one coming, and it just gets out of hand real quick. All right, opening hand looks good. We've got mana, no acceleration, but we do have like a couple pieces of removal. And then some salvagers to kind of get things going. Hopefully we can draw into some more land. But if you can ever like live the dream with like Reclamation Sage against like Jeskai artifacts, it's pretty funny. Okay, allies. And there's another land, which is great. Okay, so he's probably got the Resolute Reinforcements, or whatever they're called in allies. So, yeah, life matters here a lot. Guess let's have Helix ready. Oh yeah, that's a good target. I think we want to wait on Rumble Arena just so we can get the maximum use out of the scry. And we'll start setting up here. Okay, Hakoda is nice. Hakoda like dodges our Exorcise, which is kind of annoying, but okay, we've got Collector's Cage, which is pretty good with our setup. We can actually get it to happen like this turn. So we could also go for Earth King, or we could go for Collector's Cage and then like buff up like the Sandstorm Salvager. Actually, wait, we need another creature, I think, yeah. So let's just get Earth King going. Do we want more land? We could use more land. I think we want more land. More creatures are great too. We could go for like an Ascension though, which would be pretty sweet. So maybe we just keep looking. But if we have 5 land next turn, then we can go for like Salvager plus like buff. Could also like we do that on 4 with Collector's Cage though. So maybe we just try to like find something a little better. Tara is really good. Okay, Salvager down. Let's see what we can find with Collector's Cage. Or we could just go for another Salvager. Yeah, I guess let's not spend life, so that's probably better to save the life here. We could also play this as a 4/4, which is kind of interesting. This might find us an Ascension though, so this could be good. There is an Airbender Ascension, which feels pretty good. So then we just want to make this a 5/5, and then that'll work. And we could get Hakoda out of here. It's sort of the most expensive. It would give us a decent attack. Could also, you know, set up for Earth King, but I think we just want to like try to get some damage in. And then happy to trade this for the ally, I think. Okay, South Pole Voyager is pretty good. Next turn we're gonna have to do some work. Another Ascension is pretty nice. So they didn't play Hakoda. What could they have? I guess they could have like they could have like another Allies at Last, something like that maybe. We could airbend their Katara. I think we just want to play a bunch of creatures though and get this up to 4. So let's start here with Salvager. Actually, no, they probably have Ang. They're probably holding Ang here. So we'll start here, and if they want to counter it, they can. So they play Ang. Ang can bounce, can double Airbend, which is pretty nasty. They can get 2 of our tokens. I think we want to start getting this maximum, so let's go for Surris here. If they want to counter this, they can. But then they get 1 less token. And if we're assuming it's Ang, then I think we attack with the 5/5 and the 3/3, because those can trade. And we're good on land. Let's see what they've got. Yep, they do have Ang. Okay. Okay. It's pretty good. We're just going to get some more, though. So let's get some more 4/4s. Yeah, the Allies deck is really good. I mean, they get like a whole bunch of, especially with Katara, it just gets out of hand so quickly. Oh man, double Earth King Lieutenant is brutal. Alright, so I think we gotta fight it by bouncing the Katara, probably, or the Hakoda. Yeah, Hakoda is super annoying. Alright, let's bounce Hakoda first. And then if he doesn't give everything indestructible, then we can kill Katara. Now we can get rid of Katara. Could also get rid of Ang. Ang can fly over for a lot. The Voyager is also quite nasty. And I think we do want to value our life here a little bit. No good attacks, so let's just wait. And make some more 4/4s. Yeah, we're still facing down a whole lot of damage here. Like, allies can get so big so fast. And this one South Pole Voyager like turned it completely around. Gained them a ton of life. I think we had them down to like 8 life. Alright, the Earth King Lieutenant is more dangerous because it has trample, How do we want to do this? He could have more. He could have another ally in hand, potentially. Like if he has another Ang, could be pretty bad. So I think we want to assume this is at least like a 7 power. If he has another Ang, or he could just use his Akota here. Like, yeah, there's so many ways this could go just horribly wrong. I think maybe we throw these in front of the bus, and then we end up taking 12 here. Man, that's a lot to take, though. Yeah, because then Anne can just get there. Oh, man. Yeah, I think we're just going to do it that way. Yeah, we still have like a ton of damage coming in. Reclamation Sage doesn't really do anything. Whew. Gives us a blocker at best. Okay, so we'll just submit 0, I think. Yeah, and again, no good attacks. We're just at the mercy of drawing cards here. Whew, Allies at Last is brutal. Yeah, that's a ton of damage, okay. I think the version of Allies that I was running did not run Allies at Last, and it's a very nice addition to the deck. Oh yeah, and playing cards off the top of the library is pretty sweet too. Oh, that's probably going to do it. Yeah, Allies is one of the decks that can just really overpower you. Just kind of goes bigger. I think we had like a window, but then like they sort of ran away with it with the South Pole Voyager. All right, 4 and 2. Can we continue on? All right, opening hand looks good. We have access to Badgermole on 2. Gonna try this out. Up against Izzet Lessons. Okay, we've got 3 mana, which is good. They are going to get to at least attack once with Gran. Storm Chaser's talent or no? Okay. All right, so it looks like they're holding up It'll Quench Ya. I think we just got to go for it anyways. We could also consider like bouncing their Gran. But I think like double Badgermole is just too good to turn down. Yeah, that's pretty good. Whew, that's pretty good.
Together we can shift the current.
Yeah, they're just kind of going off here. We need a good way to deal with their yard. Ralzeric is a real problem. They might have an answer here for it, but I think we just got to go for it. And then probably into like Airbender Ascension. Could have It'll Quench Ya here, which would be rough. Yep.
Well, gotta work with what's available.
It's pretty brutal. Yeah. I wonder how many copies of Ralzeric they run. I feel like it couldn't be more than like 1 or 2, but like maybe it's more. Okay, we could get their talent with Artist Talent if they don't have another counterspell, which they easily could have. We could also just start trying to set up with Airbender Ascension. We don't really have great attacks. I think getting rid of the talent is pretty important, so we can try for that. But I am concerned about like not getting like more bodies on the table. Maybe we just go for like Salvager here to try to get like a decent sized body. Yeah, just a lot of bad options. All right, I guess we go for Salvager. Counter number 2. Okay,
Oh yeah.
that might be it.
Coming together.
Oof, and another accumulated wisdom.
I can invent.
Yeah. This deck remains to be one of the most busted decks in recent memory.
Aha! A solution! Back home, I'm called the Storm's Conduit.
Okay, and it's over at this point. Yeah, so unfortunately didn't get there this time. I do think that the slight variations in Abzan and Bant were interesting. They both did go 7-2 in the previous run. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to record those, but I can do like future matches of those if you guys want to see them. Otherwise, I can just link the deck list. Ended up going 4-3. So didn't quite get there, but I do think this is a fun version. I think like Palani's Hatcher is definitely a great card. Yeah, it's a nice top end. I think it's like the games where we got the Palani's Hatcher really, really did well. And I think Helix is a decent removal spell. Like it definitely came through in like one of the matches. I guess let's take a look at the stats. All right, so we ended up going 4-3, 57% win rate, 100% on the play, and 25% on the draw. Some of the losses there were against Izzet Lessons, mono white aggro / enchantments, and then also a Bant deck. Yeah, I do like the deck, and I think that it definitely has potential. The interaction between the Ascension and then like some of these cards that make extra, powerful tokens like 4/4s or 3/3s is just really nice. How much do you want to have of cards like Reclamation Sage or Exorcise that are kind of like deal with certain matchups but are kind of like maybe not as great in others? That I kind of leave up to you. You could have like more flankers or fewer flankers. Flanker is kind of nice because it not only deals with the graveyard decks, but it also just does help you like find what you need just by scrying. And so I think that's a nice advantage of a card like that. I like what Badgermole's trying to do, and I think it does work well in the deck if it doesn't get completely stymied. Yeah, the Llanowar Elves are great. So anyways, thanks guys for watching, and if you like this kind of content, you want to see more, there is in the top pinned comment a link if you'd like to subscribe or if you'd like to become a member for 99 cents a month to have early access to all the videos. And we will see you in the next one, and have a great rest of your night.